private money. I am Randy Chambliss, the private money lender. I'm the CEO and founder of Chambliss Mortgage Capital. Chambliss Mortgage Capital is a national, reliable, direct private money lender. We are funded by a large national private credit fund that has funded over $10 billion with a B over the last 10 years of investment property loans. And as a result of the expert guidance, the comprehensive education, and the private money that we lend, real estate investors, developers, entrepreneurs have had access to this capital so they can earn the income they prefer, live the lifestyle that they really want, all while creating more affordable and workforce housing to prevent and reduce homelessness in our community, right? So everybody we'll be working with, almost everybody, right? We're working with actually are good human beings, right? We strive to connect and work with good human beings, people that actually care, right? Who want to invest with a purpose. So the purpose of this Real Estate Investors Mastermind meetup is to do just that, to be able to network, be able to hold each other accountable with each other's goals and burning desires, be able to share resources and value so we can all collectively win together. Like that's the whole purpose of this, right? So I recommend, if you have not joined our online virtual community, I recommend doing so, right? You just simply go to chamblissmortgagecapital.com. I'm going to post that inside of the chat pretty shortly, and just click on that little button that says join the community, right? And then that way you can have 24-hour access to the community and be able to continue education. So with that being said, first, before we get started, we're going to go around the room. If you could do me a favor, take your cameras off, right? Be ready to speak clearly. I'm going to give you the opportunity to be able to speak your name, tell us who you are, where you're calling from, what business or product service that you have that's serving the community. And then also, what are your wants and needs? Like, what are you looking for out of this? Are you looking to sell a property that you have on a wholesale deal? That's a good deal. Are you looking to obtain some private funding from a current project that you have right now? Are you a realtor, right? Realtor, I should say, that's looking for some clients and looking to serve in this community, right? Whatever it is, we want to know so we can make those strategic connections. So we're going to start off with Miss Collins. Miss Collins, come on, unmute yourself, ma'am. Tell us who you are, what you doing, Miss Collins.
Hi. This Collins right here, Dorothy, or?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Dorothy.
Hi, how you doing?
Dorothy.
My name is Dorothy Collins. I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm a retired administrative assistant from Shell Chemical Company, Geismar, Louisiana. I'm currently the owner of a dump truck business. My oldest son is my only employee. We only have one truck now. I'm also involved in my church activities and community volunteering. Have some rental property that I'm interested in renovating and possibly selling it to help my children out. All my children are grown. I have 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. And I like to be able to leave them some inheritance, some property.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
my main thing, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. Next up, we have.
Welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
You.
We have Mr. Triggs. Come on in, sir.
Mr. Triggs.
Unmute yourself.
He was on at first, Mr. Triggs.
Yeah, you mute me.
There you go.
There you go.
Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Hello,
My name is Lawrence Triggs here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm a real estate broker since 1988. We are excited to be a part of this network, and we are also excited to look to close on tomorrow.
Testify.
Yeah, so we're looking to close on funding to renovate a 23 single-family housing here in Baton Rouge. And we're excited about that, and we're looking for the part 2
Come on, somebody.
Of this opportunity.
Forgive me if I'm excited.
Yep, I'm excited. Welcome, Mr. Triggs. Next up, we have Ms. Barbara. Ms. Barbara, unmute yourself. If you can, come off camera, tell us who you
Thank
are.
you, Mr. Triggs. Hello, Ms.
What are you
Barbara.
doing? And also, what's your, what you're trying to accomplish? What's your wish? What you trying to get out of this thing today?
I'm having a little audio difficulty here, so can you all hear me?
Sound you clear. You sounded loud and clear.
Okay, good. Good. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Barbara Solomon Johnson. I am actually kind of being the mediator here for Hillary Johnson.
Right. I got that paperwork.
Good, good. Yes, so we're waiting on some funding too to do some projects that they have laid out here. But I am kind of the person that works with him and his business to put together all the paperwork, do the accounting, that type of thing for them. But as well, and help them in their process of getting these projects done and completed. So, I'm kind of on the administrative side with them.
Well, thank you so much. Welcome, Ms. Barbara. Next up, let's go to Mr. Mallory. Barry, come on in, sir. Unmute yourself.
Good evening. I'm Barry Mallory, a founder and president of Helping the Village, a nonprofit organization. And my goal is to help with homelessness. And that's what I'm working with. So I'm just new to the project, but any help or ideas y'all can help me with, I truly appreciate it. I'm glad to be a part of this organization and working with you all. Looking forward to doing great things.
Awesome. Welcome, Mr. Barrett. Next up, we're going to go to iPhone 4. iPhone 4.
I got to get that fixed. I got to get that. Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Victor Valera. I'm the owner and president of Valera Project Management. We are a vertically integrated real estate development firm out of Jackson, Mississippi. So I'm a real estate investor and residential home builder. So we do everything from finding distressed properties, fixing them up, and refinancing them to keep them as rentals, or we flip them, put them on the market for resale. So happy to be
awesome.
for the network with everyone.
Welcome,
Happy
sir.
to
Glad
have
you
you.
came aboard.
Glad to have you.
Next up, we're going to go to Mr. Simmons. Mr. Ronald, come on in, sir. Tell us who you are. What are you doing? What's your wants and needs, what you're looking to get out the community?
I am Ronald Simmons. My wife, Vicki Simmons, she's here to my right. We're small-time rental property owners in Alexander, but we live here in New Orleans, and we're looking to invest starting in 2025 in more rental property to build that additional capital as we get closer to our retirement age. We wanted to find out a little bit more about gaining capital for resources to continue to build on what we currently have and watch it grow from there.
Awesome. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Miss Martin, we go to Miss Martin. Shardell Martin, come on in, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Shardell Martin, and I'm new to the real estate investor side, so I'm looking to learn as much as possible. My desire is to be a solution to my community.
Yes.
And my wants, mentorship, funding, and connections and network as well.
Where you coming in from, Ms. Shardell?
Philly in the house, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Awesome. We are all across the country right now.
Welcome.
Awesome. Next up.
That's my wife, Adriel Mallory.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Sorry, I was having problems unmuting.
No,
Everything Barry said, that's me.
Hey, that's the point of having that helpmate, being that rib, working together. I love it. Mr. Rucker, come on in, Mr. Rucker. Tell us who you are, sir.
Hello, everyone. Hey, the Tony Rucker. I'm a realtor, Louisiana and Texas. I have a team. I run across both state lines. I'm also a branch manager with Chambliss Mortgage, and I also I'm an investor as well. We have a construction company. So if anybody looking to relocate to Houston, Texas, give me a call.
Awesome. Welcome, sir. Next up, we have Mr. Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm, unmute yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're calling in from.
Hey, my name is Brandon Washington. I'm calling from Aurora, Louisiana. I have my wife with me, Janice.
Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Hey, welcome. Happy
welcome.
Tuesday.
I'm a electrical contractor.
We
I'm
need
also
you.
oh, that's good. Let's connect. I'm also a real estate investor. I had a couple of properties that I was renting. I sold them off, so I'm starting my portfolio back to buy and hold. But we're flipping a house in Westwego, Louisiana. We should have it on the market within a couple of weeks. Hopefully, out of the group, I'll build some connections and get some knowledge on the house and flip game.
Awesome, awesome.
Wow.
Well, welcome, sir. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Next up, we have Mr. Ulysses. Come on in, sir. Unmute yourself and tell us who you are, where you calling in from.
Good afternoon. My name is Ulysses Harris. I'm calling from Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm also a real estate investor out here in Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm also a private money broker with Chambliss Mortgage Capital. I'm looking to go in and rehabilitate a lot of the properties in our area and also work with investors that are looking to rehabilitate some of the properties in our area to also create affordable housing.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
Nice.
welcome, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Seth. Seth, come on in, unmute yourself. Tell us who you are, where you calling from. You was unmuted. Try it again.
Yes, that's it.
Yes, we can hear you.
Trying to get the video going. I don't know what's going on with oh, there we go. All right. You know what? How you guys doing?
Hey,
Welcome,
Seth.
welcome. Happy Tuesday.
My name is Seth Weissman. I'm here actually in Big Apple, New York.
Awesome.
And pretty much excited to learn more about investing and how I can help be a private money lender and work towards the goal of helping others just kind of take distressed properties and change them into something beautiful and then make some money at it.
Awesome.
Great. That's
Awesome.
my favorite city,
Oh.
Seth, New York. Maybe I could come up and do some tutoring.
Yeah, well, I do actually also I'm also a real estate agent, but I'm not a broker yet. But the point is, I'm looking to really use my connections out here or even throughout to understand more about the private lending game, as well as I work with affordable housing too.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Seth. Welcome.
Seth is a guest of mine out of New York. So him and I work together in the New York area with affordable housing. And of course, I work remote because I'm out in Louisiana. So Seth is a guest of mine on tonight. So he would like to.
Fantastic. Great, Ulysses.
Thank you for
Wonderful,
bringing
Seth.
me in. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Much appreciated.
Let's do this.
Next up, we have Winston. Winston, come on in, unmute yourself, sir. Tell us who you are, where you calling in from. Make sure you're unmuted, Winston. All right, we'll come back to Mr. Winston. J.D. Flowers, come on in, Mr. J.D. Flowers. Who you are, where you calling in from, sir?
Good evening, everybody. I'm J.D. Fowler from Baltimore, Maryland. I am working as a loan officer in training with the one and only Patricia Gail.
Hey.
And we are working with some people who are getting close to getting everything in line to get funded. Yes. And we are excited about this community right here.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome, Mr. Flowers. Welcome. Next up, we have Mr. McKenzie. Michael McKenzie, come on in, sir. Unmute yourself. Tell us who you are.
Hey, guys. How everybody doing? My name is Michael McKenzie.
Michael.
Yes, I'm a social entrepreneur and real estate professional located in Houston, Texas. Me and Mr. Tony Rucker are first cousins. And yeah, it's good to be here. I'm definitely on the track of developing affordable housing, but I currently develop affordable housing one property at a time, but I'm interested in building micro communities at affordable rates. So
awesome. Well, welcome, Mr. McKenzie.
Great.
Next up, we have Miss Kathy. Come on in, Miss Kathy. Tell us who you are, where you calling in from.
Let's see. There, can you hear me?
We hear you well.
Okay. Well, I'm Kathy Ferguson. I'm here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Patricia invited me, and I'm kind of a cash flow specialist when it comes to cost segregation. I educate CPAs and I help people with short-term, long-term rental and commercial properties. So if they have like $1 million, I could probably save them 70.
Start video. That's one.
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome, Ms. Kathy. Glad you were
Welcome.
able to come in.
Glad to hear your voice, dear.
So next up we have Carl. Carl's iPad. So come on in, Carl's iPad. Unmute yourself. Tell us who you are, where you calling in from. All right, make sure you unmute yourself. So anybody that I miss? Anybody that I missed? All right, well, good deal. So next up we have Miss
Can you hear me?
Patricia.
David Ferguson just
Oh,
came
David
in,
Ferguson.
and I think Rhonda, I don't remember hearing Rhonda say anything.
I just have my face now.
Hey, Mr. David, welcome, sir. Tell us
sure.
where you're calling in from and who you are, what type of product and service you may have to serve the community.
Yes, sir. Calling in from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm a recently retiree of the state of Louisiana. I worked for the state for over 30 years, capacity of auditor, tax lawyer, and an accountant. So I'm here recently retired, and I'm also a pastor in our church, and I've got some projects as it relates to the church that we'd like to move on, as well as some private real estate related transactions that we'd also like to move on with this newfound time that I've got since retirement.
Awesome, awesome.
Welcome.
Well, welcome, Mr. David. Happy Tuesday. Welcome.
Glad you made it in, sir.
And I apologize, in the church when we have difficulties joining meetings that we really want to be in. We always say it's the enemy that's getting in our way, and it's always a sign that we're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
Absolutely. Glad you made it because you were absolutely correct. This is
Been
by
diligent.
divine purpose. There's no accident that everybody's on this phone call tonight. Ms. Patricia, you mentioned somebody else we think we missed, right?
I thought I see a Rhonda. I don't know if you called on Rhonda or not. I just see that name. I don't remember that voice.
Gotcha. So Ms. Rhonda, if you're available, come on in. All right.
Hello.
There she go. Welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Hey, how you doing? I am with the one and only Miss Patricia as a loan processor, and also too, I'm from Mobile, Alabama.
Come on in here.
You guys have been giving some very informative information. Keep it up, and we just thank you guys that we're all winning with you, with y'all knowledge. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you. Welcome, darling.
Looking at create some generational wealth.
That's right.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
That
It
part.
starts with us. And so the one and only Miss Patricia, tell us who you are, man. Where you calling in from? What you looking to get out of this thing?
Oh, I'm so excited right now. All these wonderful people are here that have chimed in and pressed their way this evening. It lets us know that which we're doing is not in vain. My name is Patricia Gail. I am branch manager with Chambliss Mortgage Capital, trainer, American Dreams Do Come True, Real Estate Network with ministry, media, marketing, mortgages, and merchandise. But tonight, we're going to home on in here on this private money so that everybody on here, Mr. Randy had us in training on Friday. He fired up. I got to go buy. I went today to get some brand new track shoes because I got to run a little faster with you. But I just want to say this to everybody so I don't forget later. We have a commitment. I have a commitment to everyone that's on the 18 with me to have at least a minimum of $1 million in your pipeline within the next 90 days. I just want to make that public because it's happening. You heard a testimony earlier from Mr. Triggs closing tomorrow. We have some other people that have they got applications that came in today, Mr. Rand, and we were out. We haven't even sent them in yet. So this plane is taking off. Let me be quiet and wait my turn.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm super excited. Like Mr. Trigg mentioned, if you guys were just joining us, Mr. Trigg have a development that he's been working on for a while. He's right at that cusp of getting this thing done. There's 23 properties in Baton Rouge. So we super excited because that's 23 homes that's affordable in a safe area that's going to allow individuals to be able to live with their family. So I'm excited about that. And so, Ms. Patricia, I'm going to turn it over to you. Just give us a market update. Like, what do you see happening in the real estate market right now?
Oh, you're not going to go first? Okay.
I got you. If you want me to go first, I can.
No, I'm good. Let me share screen. There we go.
Bam, we see it.
There we go. Right. Everybody, we good?
Yes, ma'am. Please mute your phones, everybody. Mute your phones.
Okay.
What about this little thing at the bottom? Is that in y'all way? Y'all seen a screen
No, ma'am.
in the screen? No?
No, ma'am. We see your whole screen for your
All
PowerPoint.
right. So what we're doing, Real Estate Investors Mastermind. You want to know what's in the marketplace? Our mind being renewed and changed to be the change agents. And being the change agents because, as Mr. Randy said earlier, we have the capital for you to change your community. I'm going to say that again. We have the capital for you to change your community. Now, what does that mean? This is private money. This is not by the government regulated. Uh-oh, here she go. This is not government regulated. That means our guidelines won't change no matter what and no matter who. Billions of dollars access. The challenge that we are having is not having enough transactions from individuals like you to fund. So the market today is not to be compared with the market of yesterday. You hear me okay? As soon as I find out how to change the screen, I'll be all right. Y'all bear with me. I've been at it since 2 this morning. So if I mess up, charge it to my, here we go. This is what I need right here. That's what I need right there. We fund all kind of real estate rehabs, new construction. Just like there's different colors in this picture, different types of property, single family, mixed use. The key is it has to be invested property, not property that you live in. We do new construction from ground up. I'm very excited about a package that was received earlier today. We've been working on it. It's one that came to one of our previous mastermind. This is our 6th Real Estate Investors Mastermind. What am I saying? I'm saying from 6 sessions, we've got people putting in packages, grabbing what we're doing so that we can fund. So we've got some new homes that will be coming online to fund, to rebuild the communities. We're rebuilding communities. Mr. Randy said something, and I don't want to keep be misleading about Mr. Triggs' development. We are improving the community, making the community livable again, taking distressed properties, making it livable again. So what does that mean to you? That means that do not be discouraged and do not stray away if the property needs rehab, if the property needs funding for remodeling. We underwrite and approve loans based on the property's value. What's happening in the real estate market today? We're approving not on the individual, we're approving based on the property. Mr. Rand is going to share some information with you later, some formulas and some numbers. If you bring a transaction to us through our 4 simple step process and the numbers work, we will approve it. It has to have potential profit and cash flow rather than the borrower's personal monthly. Y'all, that's a gap closer right there. In today's real estate market, prior, not including what we're doing, people can't get houses. They can't get investment properties. They sure can't get no apartments based on their personal monthly income. So if that property is going to be what I call a cash cow in the real estate industry, which I've been in 45 years, you have what we call alligators and cash cow. Alligators eat up all your property. We don't want no alligators. I'm from the Bayou State of Louisiana. We don't want no alligators. When I walk through the trails here and on the golf course, they say, don't feed the alligators. We do not want any alligators. We want cash cows, meaning that money will generate generational wealth, cash flow per month. I want to talk to you about how one property can be several sources of income. Take one property, we rehab that, first you can acquire the property because we do acquisition costs, okay? If you rehab the property, you can rent it, that's one cash flow. You could sell it, that's another one. Or you could refinance it, that's another one, on one property. So we want your mind to be renewed to realize that this is different from what you're accustomed to. This is different. This being the private money investor loan, different from what I knew 40-something years in real estate with a mortgage company. Learning 400-500 products every week and had not heard of the private mortgage investor loan. Now you heard of hard money loans. We're not hard money. We can do hard money. We're not conventional. We're not FHA. We're not VA. We are that entity in the middle that's going to bring you as an individual that's on this line tonight and those you know and match you with a property and provide the funding to it. So again, if you write anything down right, you're not being approved. It's the cash flow of that property. That means your mindset used to be, oh, don't need to be, oh, I can't afford that. Oh, I'm only making X amount of that. No. It's not you. It's the property, what the property is generating. We'll get into that. Okay, real estate market updates and trending. Housing stock inventory is still a housing shortage. So how can we correct that housing shortage? By you doing what you say you're going to do. Acquiring property, renovating it, selling it, renting it. That you are the change agent. We are the change agent to cure the housing shortage. Mr. Randy shared a text with me. One of the governmental officials in the city said, in so many words, this entity not doing it, that entity not doing it, but we are. So you should give yourselves a hand, a pat on the back for even pressing your way on here on a Tuesday night to learn how you can be empowered to be a conduit for the transference of wealth. I heard somebody use the word solution earlier. Investors become the solution to the nationwide housing crisis. You should put in the chat, write down yourself, I'm the solution. I'm not the problem. I'm the solution. I don't see nobody writing in the chat right now. I am the solution. You are the solution. As we approve your project, I don't like that word project, as we approve your development, as we approve your building package, you become the solution to what I just said a moment ago, a housing shortage. Where are these properties coming from that we can get? Here are the categories, just a few. Abandoned properties, adjudicated properties, distressed properties, foreclosed properties, property settlements, real estate owned properties, and succession. That's a whole genre, if I was talking music, of categories of properties that you can acquire, put your eyes on, and we can rehab it if it needs it, so that you can either sell it, refinance it, flip it, tip it. Hey, somebody be the solution. Unclog the bottleneck, which is stagnated inventory. We're going to hear a whole lot of going forward. But I hope you just remember what we're sharing with you tonight, because we are unique in that we're not controlled by the government. The money and the guidelines are not restricted. When you have conventional, Fannie Mae, FHA, HUD, VA, homeowners loan, all of that, they all have restrictions. You got to do this and you got to do that. You got to, no, we want to fix the property, put some people in it. Oh, let me stop. Y'all too quiet for me. That's all right. I'm having fun all by myself. You can, through Chambliss Mortgage Company, okay, thank you, have access to fair, equitable capital through private money lending.
You're doing a great job, Ms. Patricia. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Rucker. Thank you. You have access. You have access by being on this Zoom. You have access. Don't eliminate yourself through a mindset. Oh, I don't qualify. I don't do that. It's the property. I know I'm being redundant, but I need to be, because you need to renew your mind. I waited a whole year for Mr. Randy before I stepped out here, tell you. I talked to him every now and then. I was watching. I was looking. I was like, is this real? Can we really do this? I did one little deal. I was like, okay then. All right then. Tried and tested. Okay, here we go. Here we go, y'all. This is what you need to know. Go to the right. Phase 1. Excuse me. This is a product, not a program. We're talking products, not a program. If you go to the end of any of these individuals' websites, Mr. Randy's, any of the other loan officers, Mr. Rucker's, the others, you're going to see the products at the bottom of what we can do, which tells about new construction, acquisition, multifamily, okay? We don't expect you to learn all the maze and the particulars of it. That's why we're here to help and guide you. That's why we're doing this platform, to bring the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom to you. So don't get this confused with a program. Oh, well, I got I got this money through my nonprofit on the program, and you're limited. We're not limited. We got billions of dollars. You don't know why we so excited. I went out to the water today. I saw you out there, Mr. Rand. I said, oh, he think he go to water by himself. I'm going too. I'm going to clear my head, because tonight I wanted fresh revelations to share with you. I wanted the impartation to share with you. God knew who was going to be on here and what you need to hear. So the preparation and application is all on the website. Preparation. All we need is your ID, your corporate entity, whether it's an LLC, S Corp, corporation, nonprofit. We need that, and we need the state seal on it. Why do we need the state seal on it? Because everybody not honest like y'all, and they be making up stuff. You can make up all kind of stuff now.
Pieces of her.
Then we need your ID, your corporate entity, and your last 2 months. I say last 2 months bank statements. I didn't say last 2 years tax return. Don't send me your tax return. Last 2 years bank, last 2 months bank statement, or wherever you got your money. It might be in a somewhere else. Why we want that? We want to make sure you can close the transaction. We work hard putting your transaction together, and you got to come to the table with an X amount of dollars, which we let you know ahead of time. We got to make sure you have that. We will approve your loan based on how much money you have. Now, if you don't have enough money, we're gonna say, see, what happened was you need to go get you a partner. You need somebody that got some money. You might have credit, and y'all come together and come back to us. We don't like to deny anybody. Why? Because we got all this money sitting here. We got to spend it. And we're not talking, I got a tax person on here, Bishop. We're not talking about no fiscal year. We want to spend it every 21 days, because that's how long it takes to approve your loan if you get us the documentation that we need within the period of time that we said to get it to us. We can give you approval in 72 hours, get you a letter saying how much you can get approved for after you have sent us the documentation. Sometimes people call, they ask questions. I say, I don't know. I can't answer your question. I haven't seen your application. I haven't seen nothing. I don't know. You're not going to get me to tell you something. Say, oh, see, she said, I don't even know. And I can't go to Mr. Randy because he already told me, don't bring that to me. I'm busy getting the money. That's why y'all not supposed to call him. I just thought I'd throw that in. Anyway, that's the preparation. That's the application. Process. Understand the process. That's why you're on here. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and I'm about to speed up. The process, understanding the process it's not difficult. Send in the paperwork we ask you for. They take it, we look at it, we get the appraisal, the title, the insurance company, all the documentation come in. Mr. Randy's going to look at it, and not only is he going to look at it, the underwriter is going to look at it. And here's where we're different from the other type of lending. Not only is the underwriter going to look at it, our committee is going to look at it. That's the difference. There are some transactions like, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. And we come together and see the vision and understand what can be done. And in some cases, if we have to check you out a little further, I told them the other week, you can send us them pictures you want. We've been to send a drone over there and see what you got. Okay, let me stop clowning because y'all serious and deep. All right, I already talked about the properties. The people, who are the people? They're you. You are the people. You're the people that we're welcoming. I'm so excited to see y'all on here tonight. I really am, because when we started, it wasn't that many. And then it grew, it grew. And we're just having to stop it next week, the last one, because we got to process y'all loans. We got to get them funded. And so we're going to keep it up one-to-ones, once a month. For those of you on my team, I'll be meeting with you weekly for our training and all of that. And then you have the what's the platform, Mr. Randy?
The Real Estate Investor Mastermind community.
The community.
Online community.
Yeah.
Yes,
go to the online community. There are videos and the tutorials in there. So it's not like we're going to stop and leave you out there. No, you got to do like I'm doing. I got to catch up now. I'm used to running, but Lord, he struck out on me the other day. I said, oh, I see you. So we want y'all to keep up, and we want to go at your pace. How about that? We're going to go at your pace. And that's what we do one-on-one, the people. And the final phase is to have a progress report that you're closing, that you got your check, and you're doing your transaction, whether you're doing it from ground up, whether you're rehabbing, whatever you're doing, and that, hey, the cycle repeats itself. All right. So hopefully tonight, more knowledge, more understanding, more wisdom, impartation. That's why I keep reiterating things, to impart into you that which you may not know, or that you may know and you need to hear it again, to give you that impartation. Why? So that you can get the revelation. Get the revelation that this is new and it's not what the old was. This is not that private money lending is new. It's just we just got access to it. How about that? Say that number again, Mr. Randy. How much money?
We have partnered with a private credit fund that's nationwide, one of the most leading ones, but it's private, right? That's why I did not all on television shows through commercials. But the point is, they have funded over $10 billion worth of B over the last 10 years alone, all investment property loans, not for traditional businesses, just for real estate investment business for property loans.
Okay, so get the revelation, get the reveal, get your vision, blow the dust off of it, get your ideas, and realize that you're on with people. I'm very humbled and graced and favored to be able to work with this gentleman and his wife, and it's just an honor. And so what we want to do before the night is over and all the previous 6 sessions is activation. Get you started, and y'all doing it. I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all doing it. Y'all sending them applications in. Y'all calling about where I get this property from and that property from. It is a phenomenal. Very proud of you, and we appreciate you. Let me talk a little bit about AI, artificial intelligence, what it's going to have on the real estate market, because my subject is the real estate market now. AI is going to take 800 million jobs. 800 million. 800 million people won't have no jobs. It'll be replaced by automation and technology. What does that mean if they don't have no job? They don't have no income. They don't have no income. They can't afford the house they're in now. They're going to need the house you rehabbing. or the house that you build and within their price range. How does this affect? How does AI have an effect on real estate? It has an effect because it's eliminating people, the workforce, where people are getting paid monthly or weekly, whatever, and getting paid really good salaries, real good money. They 401k and KO1 folk gonna be crashing in a moment. They need you. They need to come on over here and work with us. That source is Forbes magazine, if you want to go read it yourself. 800 million people will be placed by automation and technology. It's happening now. I was riding down the freeway the other day. I saw the guy standing there and I saw the lawnmower just going. I said, well, running the lawnmower. He's standing there with a remote control. Jesus Christ. Okay, y'all already know that. Okay, I'm almost through. Thank you for this opportunity. Okay, here we go. Okay, our activation and process, learn the process. Okay, I want you to remember this acronym BAIT. BAIT stands for background checks, appraisals, insurances, and title. That's what happens on every transaction. We got to have the appraisal. You're going to have insurance, and that's plural, because it may be property insurance and it may be flood insurance. We don't know. Okay, appraisals, because if you have more than one property, you're going to have more than one appraisal. And then the title. We're going to check that title back to the beginning to make sure there's no clouds on the title, make sure that it's in the proper name, because we don't want to use the private investor's money to fund your transaction and the title is erroneous, incorrect. So they check in several different ways to make sure that the origin of that title when that property was purchased is the same as when we're putting the mortgage on it to sell it. Okay. Now remember, we fund in the entity's name, in the LLC name, in the nonprofit name, in the S Corp name. That's the title that the money is going to be in. You understand? So you may have 4 people that come together to do your transaction. That's fine, as long as they all on the LLC. You might have to write some resolutions, the attorneys and things of that nature. And the previous title, like in New Orleans, what hurt me with Hurricane Katrina, all these people left, and you got to have successions on those properties, and I call it wealth stripping, but people weren't prepared. Why gentrification? Taxes and liens. And they don't have the knowledge that you're getting tonight to go in and clean up those communities. You can clean up any street you walk down now. Why? Because you get the money to do it. Now, minimum loan amount is $75,000. You say, well, the house not worth but $30,000. Well, you probably need $50,000 worth of work on it. Do the math. Okay. So therefore, let us work out those formulas for you. Just get the basics. We don't expect you to swallow all of this in this period of time. But once you start doing it and working, we will not abandon you. We'll walk you through it, talk you through it, guide you through it. That's why Mr. Randy started these Real Estate Investors Mastermind, so that we can teach, educate, train, and guide. And then you duplicate it, we disciple it. Then you do somebody else. Is that okay? So remember BAIT. Background checks. Why? Because we don't want we don't want to come get your stuff because we thought your name was Joe and your name was Sam. I'm clowning, but we see this stuff.
Yes, you are.
We see
but
this
you're telling the truth, though.
Yes, thank you. You know, somebody said, well, I would never do that. No, you probably wouldn't, but somebody you don't even own that title will.
He sure will.
Let me stop. I keep saying, let me stop. Okay, here we go. State of real estate today. This is what's happening. People are taught to ask 2 questions. What's the interest rate? Oh, what's the interest rate? What's the amount of the note? You need to know that this market of real estate is driven by inflation and consumer debts. We're getting into the most expensive holidays of the season, Christmas. You go in a hardware store, they give you a free bucket to take a credit card out. Okay. Valentine's Day in February is more expensive than Christmas. I said, I wonder why that is. I ain't got that many flowers and chocolates and stuff. But anyway.
Didn't get none this year.
You got to learn, people, that it's more numbers involved in private money investor than the interest rate and the amount of the note. But that's what the media teaches you. That's what I taught as a real estate broker before I got into this aspect of lending, because the interest rate controls the note. Is that important? Yeah, it's important. But the other component to that is the rents have gone up. So if your note $800 and the rent $1,500, hey, prices of houses go up, real estate goes up. When the rates go down, the material costs go up, material supply shortage, all that goes up. Okay, so we want you renew your mind to realize that the interest rate is not the only component when you're doing investing. We have what we call an A-part statement. That's the annual property operating data, and that's where it shows what all the costs going to be yearly. How much is yearly insurance, yearly taxes? You understand what I'm saying? We've got one client, she's got several rental properties, and she's, I don't know if she's on here or not, but she's getting her rent rolls, plural, together. So don't box yourself in with the old ways. Just know that at the end of the day, I promise you, if your transaction don't make sense, Chambliss Mortgage Capital will not fund it. We got to tweak the numbers to make sure it makes sense. We may tell you, hey, you need to do this, or you may do that. Remember, we don't want to turn anybody down, but we want you to be flexible so we can change. So those two wheels there represent what people want to know. What's the interest rate? What's the amount of the note? What's the interest rate? What's the amount of the note? That's all they know that, because that's all the media tell you. Well, the interest rates are going down. Yeah, you shot them up to 12. They went down to 9. What? Come on, let's not be deceived. We are very transparent here, and we tell you the raw. You may not like it, but it's the truth.
I'd rather the truth.
Thank you.
Been lied to enough.
Okay, here's the next part. And I'm closing, Mr. Randy. Approaching the closing for private money, investor loans, disbursement. That's how our wheels turning right there behind the scene. Oh, we getting it. The insurance coming in, the title coming in, the appraisal coming in, repackaging your transaction to close. But we're not moving fast initially, because we want every T, the investors want every T crossed and every I dotted, and they don't want us to miss anything. So you can't, don't get, and I don't think anybody, based on what you described, as you introduce yourself tonight, I don't think any of you will have the problem of being anxious. I don't think any of you on here will be the problem. Hurry up, hurry up.
No.
See, we got to count the cost before we build. And we want to make, we don't, just like the banks, all those REO, we don't want your property back. But we want to make sure that it's equitable capital that you want. We want to make sure that you enjoy the development that you're doing. We want to make sure that you feel it. Like I love talking to y'all, because y'all be so excited. Oh, did you get that? Yep, we got it. That's what we want, that energy, that synergy of the frequency of hope restored, of progress happening. The wheels are turning all the time. We're not sleeping on it. I promise you, no file is set to the side going unwatched. Now, if we ask you for 5 documents and it takes you 5 days to get them to you, your file is going to the back of the line, because we got to keep moving. How many days we want to close? 21. What does that depend on? When you get your documents to us. It depends on that bait formula. Is the appraisal coming in fine? Is the let me tell you something else about the appraisal before I close. Is the insurance coming in right? Is the title coming in right? We have recommendations for any of those people, but you may have your own, and that's fine as long as they're going to communicate with us. Let me tell you something about the appraisal. When I did residential real estate, whatever, we were always holding our breath about the appraisal. Whether or not that appraisal was going to come in, how many repairs that appraisal was going to say, Lord have mercy, what the cheat sheet going to be. But we don't have that problem with private money investing because we're giving you the money to repair the property. Isn't that beautiful?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. So you don't have to say, oh, I need a new roof. This house needs new air conditioning system. Oh my goodness, this fit. We give you we loan you, excuse me, the money. There's not a grant. We loan you the money to make the repairs, to rehab the property, to make the community livable again, to raise the foundations of many generations, to restore the paths to dwell in, to leave an inheritance for generations. That's who we are. That's who we want to partner with, you. And from what I heard tonight, you that person. You it. Tag you it. So we thank you. I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Randy, the visionary, the founder and managing partner of Chambliss Mortgage Capital. We're so honored to be collaborating and working with him. He reached out to me a while back. American dreams do come true. I said I was watching him. I'm not crazy. He was watching me too. That part.
That part right there.
He was watching me too. Whether he was watching my production or he was watching me on the television. Either way, he was watching me too. And God brought us together. Say, come on, let's help some people. Thank you for your time. Let's see in the chats. Mr. Random, turn it over to you. I see Miss Toya Jordan is new. That's coming over. Matthew Rucker is new. How to reach Randy Chambliss. Okay, his number and everything will be in the chat, or he can tell you that in a minute. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Patricia. That was awesome. Listen, guys, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you enjoy what Ms. Patricia just shared. Put a 1 in the chat right now, ladies and gentlemen. Put a 1. Oh, there it go. There it go. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Love it. Love it. Listen, I'm super excited. First, I want to start off with a scripture, one of my favorite books, right? This is Luke. If you're taking notes, write this down. Luke chapter 14.
Thank you for the
Verse 28 through 30. Luke chapter 14, verse 28 through 30. It reads, for which of you intended to build a tower, sit it not down first and counted the cost, whether he have sufficiency to finish it. Lest happily, after he have laid down the foundation and is not able to finish, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. So I'm gonna read that very first verse again, 28. Which of you who's on this call right here tonight intended to rehab a property, to build a new construction home from the ground up that's affordable and for workforce housing? Which one of you intended to make this bill, sit it down first and counted the cost, whether he have sufficiency to finish it or not? So this is wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. This is biblical principle wisdom. In order for you to create a project or create a development or redevelop a development, you have to know what the costs are. If not, then you're going to lose. I've seen too many people hit the ground running. They're excited, don't have the skills, not trained, not developed, and lacking the passion and commitment to get better and learn and network and have a mentor or coach. And they quickly have a grand opening, but they also quickly have a grand closing, bankruptcy. right? I've seen them too many times. So I want you guys to avoid that mistake that I've seen many people do by what? Learning how to count your costs. Now, when we get ready to share with you, people pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to get this information because nobody's teaching it. Nobody is sharing this. Why would they? Why would they want to teach their competition in their mind and their limited belief, right?
And they
So
don't.
with our company, with Chambliss Market Capital, all my leaders that's here, all the individuals that's working with us, we have one mission, one goal. That is to provide housing for our working class and even for our people that can't afford to live. Like we want to provide housing. One thing that you already know, I'm speaking to the choir, and that is the fact that the nonprofit organizations that's out here, most of them are not in the business to actually solve our housing problem.
They're not solving.
How and why would they want to solve it when they benefit from the problem? So when you get that, right, I want you to think about that. The nonprofits are benefiting from the problem. They're getting grants coming down, they're using those grants, and majority are going to their what? Payroll.
Payroll.
Very little goes to the social
Very
cost.
little.
In addition to that, we know that the federal government, state government, local government, city council women, city council men, the local banks, regional banks, they're not in the business of creating affordable and workforce housing.
And don't.
Why do you think there's a such term called REO, real estate owned? That's bank foreclosed property. If banks was in the business of providing houses, they wouldn't be selling the REO properties.
That's right.
They will be keeping it and developing them, but they don't. Because once you realize that the banks are not designed to create wealth for you and your family, then you can win. I'm gonna say that again. When you realize that the banks is not designed and created for you to create wealth for you and your family, then you can win. The banks is there to do one thing, and that is to turn a profit for the shareholders.
That's it.
You go and you take your $1,000, put it in that bank, hoping to get at least 3% rate of return. So out of a whole year, 12 months, you earn $30. With that $30, that is a capital gain. You're taxed on that $30 earned. So really you only have $22, $23 left over.
That's it.
And then from that, you have inflation that hit in 2021. We got up to over 9% inflation rate. Think about that. On average, we're about 3-4% inflation rate. So that means if you're only earning that little 3% and you're taxed on it, then guess what? You're losing money. Your buying power is low. And so what we've done, you heard about the private credit fund that we was able to lock in. But we also use other private money. And this is the point that I want to get you guys at some point. At some point, you're going to get away from tenants and toilets. At some point, you're going to have so much cash flowing coming into your home, into your household, that you're not going to know what to do with it. That you're going to be able to take that money and not only put it in stocks and bonds and mutual funds and commodities like gold, silver, and oil, and even in the Bitcoin world, but you're going to be able to lend private funds just like we're picking up right now. So when we go out and we talk to and we have a conversation about building wealth and financial literacy with people that is already millionaires, like some of you all on the call today, some of my future millionaires who's already current millionaires. The question is, Randy, how can I do this? Right? And so their money is protected by the real estate asset because the asset is real. That's the purpose. The estate is real. So they're getting the protection for real estate. They're getting the protection for insurance. Ms. Patricia said it earlier. Either flood insurance is in the flood zone, or at least hazard insurance. So they're protected by insurance. And then we're not lending 100% of the money. Like we will be fools. We will look like fools lending 100% of the money. Because if you have no skin in the game, when things get tough, it's easy for you to walk away. We've seen that too many times. And so what we're doing is we have many people that we use private capital from, and we need to protect their money. Just like when you in the future and you investing with us, we want to protect your money. So we have a set of guidelines that we created. We created what a profitable deal look like. And then as long as we meet those guidelines and we have a profitable deal, then you could go out and get the funding from us. It's just that simple. So that's the reason why we don't hold back. We want you to see it from our eyes. We want you to see it from our eyes, what we're looking for. So that way you know what type of deals we like to fund. They're profitable. You need to know, okay, how do I determine what's a profitable deal? What the number's gonna look like. One, it protects you because you don't want to lose. Number two, now you know exactly what we like to fund, and all you have to do is go find the deal that we like to fund, bring it to us, and it's done. We'll get it done. So I do want to touch up on a couple of things before I dump right into this training, right? I ain't even get to the training part, so bear with me. Number one, interest rates. Well, who cares what the interest rate is when you have a property that you have purchased at a discount because the seller was motivated to sell? It needs some rehab. And when you go to the traditional banks or traditional mortgage company, they say, no, we can't fund the deal because it needs work. Of course it needs work. That's the whole purpose why I'm buying the property, so I can add value to it because I'm picking it up as a wholesale deal. So the banks, regional banks, local banks, gonna tell you no. So now when you do your numbers, you're gonna earn $50,000 off this thing when you sell it. You might earn $100,000 with a good deal. Or if you're gonna hold it for cash flow, you're gonna create a tremendous amount of equity that you forced in the property and you're cash flowing every single month. If the bank says no, the mortgage company says no, who cares what the interest rate is? If you're able to capitalize, acquire that property, get it underneath contract, fund the deal, make your money, what does it matter? I want you to be thinking like that. Be thinking like that. Secondly, make sure you join the community. I put the community link in the chat, so just go to the chat, click on that link. You'll see some benefits there, so you can have a continual education. You better continue to network with everybody, hold each other accountable for their goals and wishes and desires respectfully, right? And then be able to continue to be able to rock together. Next, I want to talk to you about move-in ready properties. Not only that we have fix and flip properties, loans, right? New construction. But we also have 30-year fixed mortgages. 30-year fixed mortgages, the interest rate will never change, right? It's not dealing with your personal finances. It's about what the property finances is, right? So remember, this democracy that we're in, a lot of people agree that America is a democracy, and that is the truth. But it's a capitalistic democracy. It's built on the pillars of capital. And if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, a real estate investor, and if you don't have access to capital, you're dead in the water. This is a very capital intense business that we're in. Now, yes, there's strategy. You could buy properties and wholesale it without any capital. I get it. I did it. Ton of wholesale deals, right? You can partner with other individuals, let them put up the capital and the credit, and you just find the deal, you rehab it, and you sell it and split the profits 50-50. I've done that too. But it's nothing like, through my experience, of buying that property by yourself, independently, rehabbing it, and take all of those profits in for yourself and your family. But it takes capital for you to do that. Yes, and that's why we are in the position that we at now, because we serve in the community, we found a problem, we found a need, and we're solving that problem. Now, what's a good, right? Write this down. You're taking notes. What's a good REI for you? What's a profitable deal for you? I will tell you at least minimum 30% ROI. 30% ROI, at least. And what that means is that after you have calculated all your costs, your ARV, your rehab costs, your acquisition costs, your holding costs, your selling costs, once you have all these costs figured out, right, and they're pretty accurate, they're not going to be perfect, then you at least want to make a 30% rate of return. If you're not making that, that means you ain't making no money. If you're not making that, you're not making no money. So what we do, we have a little formula that we use, and we put in these costs, And we want to make sure that you're hitting a 30% REI. Because the last thing we want to do is have you go out there, buy the property, take time out your busy schedule, your energy, get the property on the market, sell the property, and make no money. We don't want that. And then we want to make sure we putting ourselves in a position that we know we can get the money back, right? So we can reinvest that money. The money that we have on the side is only there to deploy for investment properties. That's it. We ain't putting it in stocks, bonds, and none of that. So what are some of these numbers you need to know? Well, number one, write this down. That's going to be your ARV, after repair value. Write that down. ARV. You have to know what that ARV is. Meaning that once you repair this property, what is going to be worth after it's repaired? What is that value at that time? Whether you're going to sell his house and put it on the market at that number, or you're going to do a cash out refinance on it. You still need to know that after repair value. Critical number. Number two, you have to know this formula. Most investment companies who lend money on property, they will do a 70% ARV. We at Chambliss Mortgage Capital, we will allow a 75% ARV. What that mean? That means that once you have your after repair value, let's say it's $235,000, right? That's your after repair value. That's what you can sell it for. You times that by 75%. And you want to make sure that your purchase price and your rehab budget is within that number. If it's not, then right off the bat, you're going to lose. You don't have enough money in the pot to win. So remember, 75% ARV. Whatever your ARV is, time that by 75%, and make sure whatever that total number is, that sum is, that your purchase price and your rehab cost is within that. Second cost that you have to know, and that is your rehab budget, your scope of work, your construction cost. You have to know what this cost is. It's critical. I don't need you just swinging the bat, hoping something stick. No, you have to be very tight. Now, you may not be perfect, but you at least got to be not in the ballpark, but at least in that room you're in right now, right? And I'm going to tell you a quick story why this is important. When I first got in the game of fixing and flipping property, I've been studying real estate, investing, and being an active investor for 18 years. I've been studying and teaching personal finance and financial literacy for 20 of those years. 16 of those years, I've been studying mortgages and been a licensed mortgage loan originator for 16 years. From that time and this time, I've purchased, rehab, and sold about 20 different properties, right? Built 2-3 new construction, all sold. But at the very beginning, I was only looking for dealing with cash flow properties, right? Only one property I developed at the very beginning. After that, I was just buying property as is, ready to rent, until I got smarter. And so when I first started to buy property rehab, I found somebody I thought that knew what they was doing. This was a licensed state residential contractor, been licensed for some time. And so what he was doing, he was on the west bank of New Orleans in the Woodmere subdivision. If you any of you guys in the New Orleans area, in the Woodmere subdivision, he was buying REO properties using other people's money, right? He's buying REO properties, and he wasn't really detailed on his scope of work. And so what he was doing, he was just guessing and say, okay, yeah, it'll take about $25,000 to repair this one, about $26,000 to repair this one, so on and so forth. So he go make an offer at the bank as a REO. He win the offer. He get the keys. He had about 5 or 6 houses, right? Got the keys. He started working. Started knocking down walls, pulled down walls, doing some demo. Lo and behold, there was some termite damage. The whole back of the house was full of termite, and it was active. What did he have to do? He had to immediately rectify that property because he owned his property now, right? Ain't no turning back now, baby. And so he ended up doing the whole back wall, demoing, putting new wood up, etc. Right? Well, guess what? He wasn't budgeted for that. It was a surprise. And so he started buying inferior products, they started getting labor at the Home Depot, right? Having a favorable labor, right? And next thing you know, he had black appliances in the house, dirty brown carpet in the house, right? Just doing everything he can to cut costs. So he went over budget tremendously. It took him way too long to finish the project. And then finally, when he put it on the market, people was walking in the house to buy it, and it was walking right back out because it was horrible. And this was 5 or 6 properties. So eventually, after months and months and months of having stale listings, he sold a property just to dump it, just to get out of it and earn no money for himself and the investors. So what you think the investors did at the time? They never lent him money again.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to know that having that scope of work, that budget is critical. How do you get it? Well, do your research a little better than I did at that time. Make sure that not only is a state licensed residential contractor or a general contractor, get referrals. Make sure him or her is doing what they say they would do. And you want to see some documentation. Number one. Number 2, go take courses yourself. Go to your local community college, right? You can go online and take courses of how to create scope of work, because you don't want to rely. If this is something that you're passionate about, and this is what you're going to be doing, and pass this information on to your children, right? You want to make sure that you know yourself how to create a scope of work. Listen, guys, I got so good at creating scope of works, I ended up going to get my residential state Louisiana contractor license. Just because I wasn't worrying about nobody else pulling my permits and creating my scope of work. I just went, pulled my own permits and got my own scope of work created. And that's the position that you want to do. But for now, just go and find you somebody that's reliable. Get your 2-3 contractor, all like the number 3, right? So that's your next cost. The next cost is going to be your acquisition cost. Write that down. I'm going to recap for you. ARV, after repair value. Make sure you 75% ARV. You know that calculation. Second cost is going to be your rehab and construction cost, which is your scope of work. And then thirdly, going to be your acquisition cost. Now, just a little tip on your scope of work. How your scope of work should look like. It should be line item, right? Line item. For example, windows. We're going to replace 12 windows. That's the description. You have the quantity of 12, description, I'm going to replace them, and then you have a cost, $5,000. Next line item, replacing 25 squares of roof material. What type of materials? What's the cost? $7,500. And you list out line items exactly like that. Why? The reason why you want to do that, just in case your contractor is moving too slow, just in case they're not showing up, just in case you got some problems, you could go to your scope of work and say, okay, what did you complete? And you verify what they completed. And if they only completed the demo and the roof, guess what you just paying them? The demo and the roof. So you're moving them out and you're bringing another contractor in. So that's why you're not getting beat. Another tip for your contractors that you don't want to pay them 100% of their money.
Never.
If they do 50% of the work, you're only gonna pay them 25% of the work.
No.
When they finish 75% of the work, you're only gonna pay them 50% of the work. That's where your money is staying behind their labor. So it behooves them, it motivates them to keep going quickly and finish. But if you are giving them more money than their actual labor, you got a problem. And the worst thing that can happen is you run out of money because you can't get them back, you gave them money, and you have no way to finish that. Well, why that benefits us at Chambliss Markets Capital? Why that benefit our private funders? Because we want to protect the funds. Just like we want to protect your funds when you start being a private funder with us too. It's called respect, honor, doing things right. And we have principles that we live by, and that's the way we roll. We don't rock no other way. So let's go back to the acquisition cost. Well, that's some costs you need to know about. When I tell you that's real estate professionals that been in the real estate game as a realtor, broker for years, they don't know these costs. But I'm gonna give it to you today. Number one, you gotta know your lender fees. Your lender fees. One of your lender fees is number one, is gonna be your down payment. Write that down, your down payment. Number two, you're gonna have an underwriting fee. The underwriter that's not working for free. You have a processing fee. The processor is not working for free. And you're gonna have a legal fee because we use third-party attorneys. We don't allow the title company to create the HUD documents. We don't allow them to create the mortgage notes, et cetera, because they have invested interest in that if they do it because they provide the title insurance. So to avoid those mistakes, we have a third-party attorney that's going to do the documents from a third-party perspective. They have no skin in the game. And that's how we make sure we do things right. So that's your lender fees. You have property taxes fees on the front end, whatever the property might be prorated, but you have to calculate your property tax. What that cost is going to be. Your insurance costs, whether it's builder's risk insurance, flood insurance if it's in a flood zone, or if it's just hazardous insurance if it's not builder's risk. You need to know your insurance cost. We talked about your down payment, and then you also have your title fee, your title settlement company, whoever you choose, right? Oftentimes we choose because if it's in a certain area that we do a lot of business in, we know the title company, we know they move quickly, they move fast, and we'll work with them, right? Because we need them on the same page as us. They need to be rocking, right? No delays. But that's title settlement fees. So when you calculate all of those up, that's your acquisition cost. Next is going to be your holding cost. Pick this up. Holding cost. Well, what is your holding cost? One, with us, if you're doing a rehab, you're going to have that interest-only payment. You're not paying principal, you're paying interest only. So that means if you get finished this project in 3 months, you only pay us 3 months of interest. There's no prepayment penalty on new construction or fix and flip property. There's no prepayment penalty. So the quicker you get it done, the quicker you give us our money back, the quicker we could go fund another developer and keep that money circulating. But you got to know that it's interest-only payment that you have to make. 2, lawn care, right? Once your property is there, the worst thing you want to do is have your grass high because you're trying to sell a property or you want to refinance. So you got to pay that fee. Your landscaper, you need to have a landscaping fee. Why? Because if you're selling the property or even you're going to rent it, you need to have a nice landscaping outside. Be different. No slum lodge, be different. That way your property not sitting on the market. And you have utility costs, your gas, water, electricity, those costs matters. And if you're sitting here holding this property for 9 months, you're paying all those costs for 9 months and you're losing money. So we look at holding costs and say, worst case scenario, that's just calculated for 12 months, what that's going to be. That's worst case scenario. Good case scenario, you're in and out in 3 months. Your next one, seller costs. So if you selling that property, you buying it, you rehabbing it, and you put it on the market to sell, you have to know there's a cost to you. What that cost is, once again, you have title cost for your title settlement company. If you're using a real estate agent, you're going to have a realtor fee. So just grade on, calculate 5% or 6% max. And also, I encourage you to calculate a seller concession fee if you can. What is a seller concession? Well, most of the time, individuals who buying a house, particularly the first time, they need help on a high insurance cost. So you can contribute to the insurance cost. You could give them 6% if it's an FHA loan. FHA allows 6% of the purchase price that you could give to that seller to help pay for their closing costs, their property taxes, and also the insurance. That way they quickly and is motivated to buy your house quicker or faster than anybody else. So I will just calculate that in there. And then your prorated taxes. Once you sell a house, that's prorated taxes. If you kept it for 3 months out the year, then you're going to pay 3 months of taxes. Now,
Mr. Randy, may I interject something?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we got 5 minutes left.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want everybody to know that these costs that he's saying, we break those down for you on a HUD statement. Again, we know that you're on here to learn. We don't expect you to grab all this and do all this without assistance. So, but that's really good to know. We're supposed to count the costs before we bill. So at least you can have some kind of introduction, familiar of if you're just getting into this investment property rehab, that it's going to cost. It's not free money. And we like to include all of the costs that he's saying in your development or in your property, in your funding. so that it's not over what I want to say, out of your range. From able to get it. So some of it, and we'll distinguish that as we get each application, as we get each type of development, we will say what can be included and what can't, so you can have a bottom line. So I just wanted to inject that so that you don't leave off here like, oh, Lord.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, Ms. Patricia.
We got 3 minutes, Doc. I don't know what you want to do, or if you want to keep going. I just want you told me to remind you.
We're gonna rock. Much appreciate it. I need that. Thank you. So, you know, and if you're doing a refinance, you're doing a BRRRR method, right? You're buying a property, you renovating it, you're refinancing it. I'm sorry, you renting it and then refinancing. You still need to know these costs to see what your profit is going to be. So those same seller costs is almost the same as your refinance costs, except for your seller concession and your realtor fee, obviously. Well, now that you know all these costs, ARV, after repair value, your rehab scope of work costs, your acquisition costs, your holding costs, your seller costs, now and only now that you should be calculating your maximum allowable offer. I'm gonna say that again, your MAO, your maximum allowable offer to the seller. You should not be creating a price or coming up with a purchase price to the seller if you don't know these costs, your maximum allowable offer. So that means once you do all it, you thought that you was gonna give that seller $125,000 because they was asking for it. But after you do your calculation, that $125,000 gonna have you in the red. So now you figured out and said, okay, for me to make money and hit that 30% rate of return like I want, I need to be buying this property at $75,000. So now with confidence and boldness, you could go out and make that offer to that seller at that $75,000. That's your max. You might want to start at 65 because they want to negotiate with you, but you know you can't go over $75,000. And now, once you make that offer and that seller take that offer, what's that old cliche that you heard many times? You make money in real estate when you buy the property, but you realize it once you refinance or sell it. So this is how you make money when you first buy it. I've seen too many times, going back to my story with the gentleman. He was making his offers to the seller, which was the bank. He was paying way too much for the money, for the property. But what he should have did, he should have been very concise and detailed on his scope of work, not rushing, and knew exactly what his cost is, did a little bit more investigation, because if he had a home inspector, obviously, not obviously, but most of the time, the home inspector would have caught those termite damage. And he could have calculated that extra $15,000 cost and then deducted that $15,000 from his purchase offer. And it'd have been fine. So I just wanted to share that with you guys for that. So with that being said, that is the lesson for today. I hope I gave you some value.